right now. You're listening to the Scary Vibes podcast. My name is Michael, aka Mr. Scary Vibes.
And my name is Abe, aka Big Paranormal. Welcome back, everybody.
Welcome back. Season 2, episode 12. Guess what?
What's up?
Mandy is back. We have a
I'm
special
back.
guest. We have her back. We had so much fun last week. We brought her back. Today's topic, we're going to be talking about empaths, since we have two of them here in front of me. And then evil princesses. But before we get into all that fun, Abraham, how have you been?
I'm doing okay. I think I told you right before we jumped on that I had got hit with some really, really weird energy. Um, and the frustrating part about it is that I don't know where it's coming from, you know. All I know is literally I was just sitting there, I was getting ready to jump on this pod, and I just got hit with this wave that just made my whole body feel strange. I started to feel like real cold. Like my for whatever reason, I felt like almost like microwaved or something. Like my skin itself was warm, but like inside my body was extremely, extremely cold. And it just felt so unsettling. And like everything told me that like I wasn't safe in that moment, almost like I don't know, like I felt like there was something on top of me, you know. Once I got up and I walked
What were you
around and I'm sorry.
what were you doing when all this happened? Like what over did something overwhelm you or
No, not at all. Not at all, dude. Literally just sitting, kind of just doom scrolling on my phone. And then I felt this shift in the energy in the room. And just, that's where it just started going from there, you know? And that's probably one of the more frustrating parts about being an empath, which I know we're going to talk about later. We've talked a little bit about it in the past. But yeah, it's just frustrating when you don't know where it's coming from because you don't know if it's like atmospheric, right? If there's something in the immediate vicinity that I'm picking up on, um, or it could be, spiritual, could be, some kind of entity or something that was just passing through, um, trying to siphon energy or something like that. But yeah, it was rough, but I made it through. As soon as I got up and came in, to the room to start recording and everything. Once I started getting around, moving, doing things, then it just kind of subsided on its own. Thank goodness for that. Um, but other than that, yeah, not really anything too new has happened. I'm not sure, Mike, if you wanted to let the listeners know that we recently did a guest spot on
yeah.
another.
So Jimmy J over there at Horror 365.
Mhm.
I've known this guy for man, probably like 5, 6 years. He was in the Scary Vibes group and I've always seen him around. He started his own thing. He reached out. We did a live stream. We've never done that. This that was new to us. We jumped on YouTube. We did the live stream, and this episode that we did was crazy
Mhm.
because Jimmy comes to me and says, what topic do you guys want to talk about? And we say, let's talk paranormal. So, you know, Big, aka Abraham, starts talking about some paranormal experience that happened throughout his life, and there was this story. Have you ever shared that story on this episode,
I mean, we covered so
or
many.
on? Okay, how about we share this story with the listeners, and then I'll explain what happens when we get
Mhm.
to that part.
So which story were you talking about? Because I covered so many,
The
man.
bus story, the bus one.
Oh, the bus story. Yeah, the bus stops. Okay, so let's see. When I was about probably 18 or 19 years old, I was on my way to work, and I mean, this is way before I owned my truck or anything like that. So I was taking CTA, which is public transit in Chicago, and at this one particular stop, there was this old man. This guy had to be like in his 80s, old, kind of hunched over, really slow. And as soon as the guy got on the bus, I just felt this like horrible shift, right? And everything in my body was screaming that I needed to keep my eyes on this old man, almost like he was a threat, you know? I didn't know what the hell was going on. It just felt absolutely horrible, but I just locked eyes with this old guy, and he walks like halfway through the bus and then he just sits down. I'm sitting towards the back of the bus, and starting to get like goosebumps even talking about this. Um so the guy, I don't know if he could actually feel me just watching him, but he turns and he looks over at me, and we just lock eyes. And immediately the feeling that I had gotten, it just intensified, right? Like it felt like it just ramped up. And again, I just knew that I there was something off with this guy. I felt like every single one of us that was on the bus was in danger, you know? And so I can't even remember how far we were riding down this, down the street. But eventually we get to the point where, he gets off, but we are locking eyes. Not one of us is blinking. It was almost like we were having some kind of a power struggle or something, like I knew that he was up to no good, that he was bad news, and he knew that I knew that he was bad. Um, so he gets up, right? And I guess he got to his stop. He starts walking off of the bus. Now, mind you, I'm still staring this guy down. He's still staring at me. He gets off the bus. Our eyes are still locked onto each other. And I'm watching him from, I'm sitting next to the window. And as he's like walking over slowly to where I'm sitting, he just like turns his head right when he gets to where I'm sitting at. He just turns his head and then he just like cracks this really creepy smile. And I just started getting these flashes in my head of just like seeing blood and hearing screaming in my ears, like really, really loud, just different screams, and seeing like little hands and little feet. And it was horrible. And like immediately I knew instantaneously that this guy, he hurt kids, you know, and it just felt horrible. Like I wanted to cry, man. Like it was so, so bad. But as we, drove off, the guy was just staring at me still with this creepy ass smile. And I mean, the thing about this was that I was noticeably bigger than this guy, right? Like I was way bigger. He was maybe 5'4", maybe 5'3", something like that. But again, he was an older guy. He was pushing 80. He was hunched over. He was frail, but yet I still felt like in my core, I felt like he was a threat. Like he was super dangerous, you know? And I know that like when we were telling this story, we had mentioned to these guys that in the past you and I have had experiences with when we try to tell these stories about these paranormal things, we start to run into technical difficulties, and it started happening while we were on the live stream, which I thought was
Yeah, so
crazy.
so as soon as you got to the part where, you explained that, he smiled at you and you started seeing all these pictures in your head flashing really quick.
Mhm,
The first thing, like, behind my camera, I have my desktop, and on my desktop, I'm not organized. I have tons of images and images everywhere, and all the images started to flicker. They went from like seeing the images really tiny to just going white and flicking
mm,
back and forth. At the same exact time that was happening to me, because I mean, it could have been a coincidence. It was happening with this guy, Jimmy J, the head of this other show, to the point where he lagged out of his own room like 5
Mm,
times, and I had spoken to, I think the other guy's name was Swift, and
mhm,
I was like, "Has this ever happened before?" And he's like, "No, not like this. This is, like, completely just off the wall." And then I know
mhm,
Abraham started getting, like, these feelings about, Jimmy.
mhm.
What kind of feelings were you having? Because
I felt like something was, specifically coming through, like, the window, like it was coming through his screen, I could actually feel, like, I don't even really know how to describe it, but it literally felt like it was, like, coming through the screen trying to get at me, you know? And I know that he was saying how odd it was also because he had gotten, like, kicked out, booted out of the app, I guess, and tried to get back on, like, 3 times, and then even he said he was having some stuff go on with his computer too with, like, flickering and stuff like that, and, I know we had mentioned the story about, when that happened with you and me on the phone, where we were talking and the electronics in my truck just started going haywire, you know? And so we had gotten onto the topic of, saying that, like, for whatever reason, when we talk about these things, they don't like it. I feel like whatever spirits or whatever we're talking about, they don't like us talking about it. So then we start to run into these weird, odd technical issues. And I know that Jimmy, he had switched from his computer to his like cell phone. And then I don't know if there was like issues with the cell phone too, because he was kind of cutting out on that also. But then like he switched back to the computer and man, it was odd. It was really, really odd. But I gotta say, I kind of like the fact that like it was happening in real time. And if you guys go over to, check out the guys at Horror 365, they have the episode posted up, the live session that we had where we were talking. And you can see it for yourself in real time. Like we're on and like a little bit after, like about an hour into their session, they brought us on. Um, but like I said, like having the fact that people can actually see that we tell stories, right? And we let people know like our firsthand accounting of things that are happening. And in the past, we've had people that have commented or, have reached out to Mr. Scary Vibes and been like, it's satire, you know, like Abe's not telling the truth. He's whatever, it's like you're just making a story up. But it's like, no, dude, this happened live, you know? And so it kind of makes me feel better that it's like, okay, whoever was watching, anybody that was watching, they can see it for themselves that it was like cutting out. So what were you feeling
yeah.
during that?
Wait, what was
Like
I
what
feeling?
yeah, what were you thinking? Like what were you thinking when all that stuff was happening?
I mean, I was kinda laughing, and I thought it was crazy. I thought it was crazy, and I was like, I was entertained by it, but I was also, like you said, the fact that, we have all the watchers that are watching live, and then that whole other organization that, had us on, they got to see it firsthand to, kinda just show that, we're not just over here BSing, making up stories and stuff like that. We kinda just talk about stuff that happens throughout our life, or, we bring people
Mhm.
on that share stories that happen in their life, and this stuff does happen. Just because it doesn't happen to you doesn't mean it's satire. So,
Exactly. Exactly. But yeah, that was kind of the craziness that we dealt with. Had a really fun time though. It was really cool. They invited us to be on and it was awesome to be just in discussion with these people that love horror movies. They love the genre. They, just like we do. It honestly, I was a little bit nervous at first, but then after we started talking and everything, it just flowed. It was awesome. It was a great experience, man. Great, great experience.
it was
What
fun.
did you what did you kinda take away from that whole experience?
I liked it. I gotta do it again. I wanna do some lives over here at Scary Vibes. so that'd be kinda cool to do eventually, so, it should be in the works.
Hell
We
yeah.
don't have a date, but it's in the works. So,
Hell yeah.
Mandy, how has your week been? I mean, how have you been?
Um, I've been good. It's over here in sunny LA. It's been pretty hot, and then the nights are very cold, very desert-esque. Last weekend we did a horror event at a Halloween store over here called Halloween Depot. It's like a year-round Halloween store. It's really cool. The owners are cool. The guy that runs the event's super chill. They had like really cool cosplayers, and they did kind of like a Easter theme because well, that was last Sunday, right? So it was Saturday.
Mhm.
So it was like a Terrifier with the bunny ears. They had Ghostface Easter bunnies. Like, it was really cute because you can it's like a family-friendly event too. So, we do that a lot, you know, I'm a full-time artist, seamstress, so me and my boyfriend, he's an artist, so we just try to do all those vending events, so it's really nice that we get year-round spooky events like that, so that was the highlight of the week.
That's
Did
pretty
was there
cool.
winners?
What
Was
do you
there, like,
mean?
prizes? Was there winners for the cosplay?
No.
Or
So
is it
the
just
funny
for
thing is,
fun?
it's for fun because, like, over here in the SoCal community, there's just, like, a series of, like, cliques, you know, and, like, there's this certain cosplay group that it's always at this particular place with these people, so they just know to come and just take photos. We had a guy that we know that does, like, spooky photography, so he set up a booth, and there's, like, these really cool, really high quality photos, so stuff like that. Yeah, there's no it's not like a prize, but it's just if you wanna come and bring your family and get a photo, like, that could be your Easter photo, spooky stuff
That's
like that, and then, like, all the vendors set up. Yeah, and then they had, like, drinks, and, the first 100 people got these, like, custom Art the Clown pins with, like, little bunny ears and stuff, so it's just, like, a fun time.
that's pretty dope, man. I love cosplayers, man. Cosplayers,
Yes,
they
they're
are
awesome.
so awesome. Like, there has to be some, I mean, a ridiculous level of skill, the amount of work that they put into their costumes, man, and then just, like, the accuracy that they have to actually, like,
Oh, yeah.
make themselves look like these characters, and then it's so cool to see
Mhm.
the like, the combinations, like you said, it was, like, Easter, right? And so,
Yeah,
like you said,
mashup,
people
uh-huh.
were showing up like horror versions of, like, their favorite characters, but like, with Easter stuff. I think that's so
Yep.
awesome. Was there anybody there,
Yes.
like a costume that you saw that you liked more than the other ones?
Okay, so I don't wanna be that guy, but one of the dudes is our friend. I'm gonna shout him out. His Instagram's dead foo, like FOO. Super cool guy. He always does like a he has like homie kind of twists. So he did like a Terrifier homie, and then like this particular time he just put the bunny ears, but
Mhm.
he always has some good ones. But there was another guy there that did the grabber from the Black Phone, and he had this
Oh,
giant carrot, and then he put bunny ears on the hat. So he was really cool too. His name is Ricky. So these are all just like a group of people that we know from the community. But yeah, just those were fun. The mashup of holidays, my favorite.
that's so dope. At some point,
Yeah, you'll love.
I know that, like, Nightmare Before Christmas is, like, one of my absolute favorites, and
Oh
obviously
yes.
that's a film that integrates, like, it has, symbols from all the different holidays, the well-known holidays and whatnot. I
Yeah.
would love to be able to see, I mean, first off, Tim Burton is amazing, right? And he created such a work of art. But, like, I would love to see just, like, a twisted and more dark version of that universe,
Mhm.
so that we could
I
see,
agree.
like, the
Yeah.
twisted,
Or
like,
rated
Easter
R.
bunny. Hell yeah. Hell yeah. Like, man, that would be
Bro,
so cool to see.
I know you're big brain over there, and you can't just leave you can't just leave us with, "Oh, man, I'd like to see it get twisted." Like, how twisted are we talking? Like, what are you is there some ideas out there?
Well, so, I mean, obviously, they made the film to, like, to market it towards kids, younger audiences. So, like, yeah, the designs looked creepy, but I would love to see the just nightmare versions of all of these characters,
Like, more blood and gore or what?
More, yeah, absolutely. I mean,
Okay. I'm down.
look, okay, so look at Sally for one thing, right? Like, Sally is literally a rag doll. She's got stitches all over her. But, because she has this, like, kinda odd shaped, head, she's got these really big eyes and with the eyelashes and stuff. She doesn't come off as, being, scary, really.
Right. Yeah.
Just kinda like a misunderstood character, but I would love to see something just more graphic, right? Like darker, like to be able to see a little bit more fabric and um I don't know, man. Like it would be crazy for them to do like kind of like a Frankenstein type thing. Like instead of, having
Yeah.
it be like maybe a mixture between like cloth or like, like
Flesh.
right, flesh, exactly. Like
I see.
man,
I'm surprised we haven't seen that. You're right.
I mean, I'm sure there's a
Would
whole
you
bunch
want it?
of red tape and whatever, um, what is it,
Yeah.
copyright issues and, that
Yeah.
kind.
But I mean, Tim Burton himself, like, why hasn't he been like, let me reinvent these now that what that movie came out in what, 1992? Was it
Yeah.
4? I
It
don't know.
was it
It's
was
very early, like
definitely early 90s. Yeah.
early 90s. Like, if he wasn't like, let me revamp these guys. I'm sure there's some sketches out there where they're like evil Jack Skellington, but like, I want to see it in the whole stop motion.
Hell yeah,
So would
man.
you
That would
rather?
be so awesome. I'm sorry?
So would you rather it be like a musical, or would you rather them go a different route? Because when I think of like movies with amazing scores, I think of like The Conjuring, and I
Mhm.
didn't know his name off the top of my head, but I looked it up. Joseph Basara.
Okay.
Yes.
The
He's amazing.
way, bro, like if they did you know, would you keep it a musical or would you take a different route when it comes to like composing the score and stuff like that, like more horror driven?
'Cause that's
Well,
Danny Elfman that did The Nightmare Before
Danny
Christmas.
Elfman is the GOAT, honestly.
You gotta keep him
Um,
around for that.
you definitely do, but it would be pretty cool to integrate maybe a little bit, man, like a little bit more metal in there, Um, I'm not a huge fan of musicals besides like Sweeney Todd and this, right? And Nightmare Before Christmas. I literally know the
Yeah.
words to all the songs.
Same.
Um, seriously, like, I mean, like I said, I saw this movie when I was a kid and I fell in love with it. Just the vision and I mean, the fact that it's like Halloween Town, like, first and foremost, I think if there really was a Halloween Town, I feel like all of us would want to, if we couldn't move there, we would want to vacation there several times a year.
Yeah,
You
for sure.
know, I mean, I don't know, man. I've never
I've
been a
I've
huge fan
talked
of
about that.
Christmas. Uh huh.
I've talked about creating a Halloween town. I would get a glass dome, just like in that
Ooh.
Simpsons movie. Put a glass
Yeah.
dome over us, and
Yep.
it's just gonna be like 55 degrees all year round. Everybody
Mhm.
has
The
to have
leaves
Halloween,
falling.
yeah,
Yeah.
Halloween decorations all year round, free candy all year round.
Chocolate.
Diabetes is gonna be
Yes,
real bad
diabetes.
there. It'd be
Count me
and
in, I'm
I
there.
don't know, man, like, there was just so many cool things about that movie, and, they had some really unique characters in that movie too, right? That
Mhm.
I feel like if we
Yeah.
saw these things in real life, that you would be like, there's the guy with just the hatchet just sticking out of his head,
Yeah, that guy.
he's got kinda like a farmer thing going on with the overalls, and, I
Yeah.
mean,
In The
come
Professor,
on.
the one that
Yeah.
created Sally, he just opens his head up, takes piece of his own brain,
Yep,
makes his
Finkelstein.
creations.
Yeah, Finkelstein.
Yes, that's his name. I
That guy,
was like, "What
man,
is his name?"
so twisted, and then
Yeah.
even, like, when they were creating the toys, right?
The
Like, the toys
toys. I just think about
themselves,
that duck.
they were so dope. I gotta find, like, if they
Yeah,
make those
the
things, I have to
snake.
get some of those, honestly.
Well, some of the vendors here that we vend with, I forgot the guy's name, but I'll send it to you
Mhm.
guys later. He makes these like out of wood. He creates them. He has the duck. He has like I think he has the presents with like the monster face on it. I'll have to find him and I'll send it to you guys.
Oh,
They
that is
people make
so
them
dope.
and they're so good.
And you know what? You have to love the artists that are able to create these things, right? That are
Oh
able to
yeah.
like look at these things and then manufacture them. I've seen some really cool creators on IG that there's one in particular, the name escapes me right now, but it makes puppets out of like
Oh.
well-known characters. Like I saw one that she
Oh.
did like Pan from Pan's Labyrinth. Oh
Yes.
god, so dope to see like the old, but it like has a real old school, old world feel to it because
Oh,
they're like hand carved out of wood and they
I
look amazing.
follow her.
Do you?
She met up with Guillermo and, like, showed him and hung out with him. I think it's called, like, Handsome Little Puppets or Devil Little Puppets, something like
Uh-huh.
that. She's freaking talented. She did, like, Sinners. She did all of
Mhm.
them. They're
Absolutely.
really good. You're right, yes.
Yeah,
You gotta
they're
look
so
her name up.
dope,
It's like
and there's just
Handsome.
something so cool, just like how people can take that talent, their talent, and then create something just so awesome, man. I absolutely
Oh,
love
yeah.
it. I think it's so cool. I was like with you with your designs, with the clothing that you make and everything. Like, man, I just
Thanks.
it takes a
Thank you.
very, very artistic mind to be able to come up with, things like that. And I think it's
Oh,
awesome.
yeah.
I think it's absolutely
Freaking
awesome.
thank you.
Mhm.
Yeah, there's a lot of talented people, though. Make everything.
Okay, so I didn't prep you guys on this, but I'm gonna do it
Uh-oh.
anyways.
Okay.
So sorry if I throw a curveball at you. But I asked this to to my wife earlier, and I'm gonna ask it to you guys. First, I want you guys to take 30 seconds. We'll start with ladies first.
Uh-oh.
And 30 seconds, what would you do with $100 million?
Oh god. Do I just take 30 seconds or just
Oh,
splat?
no.
You got 30 seconds to tell me what you would do with $100
Okay.
million.
Alright. So first off, like, I need probably a new car. I know that's like most people are like, "Car and a house." My car's really old. It's a '03, and I'm always, like, really scared. So I want a nice car, nothing fancy, nothing fancy. I would like to get a little bit of a bigger house, the generic things. But then I wanna invest in my business because I don't wanna give that up. Just because 'cause I'm rich, I'm not gonna just forget the things that I
Hell
love. So
yeah.
that's
Oof.
something. And I also wanna get a dog because we live in a small apartment and I haven't had a pet in a while. So I want another, like, husky or German shepherd that
You could
I
buy
could
all
actually,
the
take
dogs.
time.
You
I
could
just
buy
need, like,
all the
one
dogs
dog.
at that point.
But
That's
then I need
awesome.
to make sure that he's got care and love and has we play with him, so I just wanna make sure money would give me more time. So that's what I would do.
Mm,
Okay,
Nothing crazy, and then I'd, like, just save. I'm a Capricorn, so I'm gonna save a lot of it.
there you go. No, that's
okay,
the smart
Abraham.
thing. Yes, sir.
Yep.
Hi, Abraham. 30 seconds.
Mm.
What would you do with $100 million before I get into the fun?
Uh-oh.
Oh, man. Listen, I'm a simple person, and I don't need a lot of things. Like, I don't need a big house, but if I was gonna buy a big house, I mean, if I was a multi-millionaire, obviously, I would buy a big house, but the only reason why I would buy this big house is to riddle it with passageways and secret
Oh.
doors and tunnels
Oh.
and all types of really cool things, to be able to just travel to get from fun ways to get from one floor to the other, you know?
Mhm.
Um, I think that I already told you, Mike, I'm a huge fan of Tim Burton, obviously, so but I'm also a comic book geek too, and I absolutely love, uh, Tim Burton's the 1989 Batman film, and my basement would probably be like an exact replica of the Batcave from that Batman movie, like 1989. I would want it to look like that, but I would probably also invest in a monster truck that's
Ooh.
armored
Ooh.
in the event of a zombie
Arm.
apocalypse, right?
Would it be
Nice.
like
Twisted metal.
a Nacho Man Randy Savage one? Like, what would be the design
Ooh.
on it?
I feel like I would wanna go listen, I was born in the '80s, right? And in the '90s, it was all about, like, monster trucks was really big. I remember I was watching this cartoon, Captain N the Game Master, and, what was there was another one that I watched, but it had Bigfoot, right? They made a video game of that
Ooh. I love
very
Bigfoot and
famous.
Gravedigger.
Yeah, Gravedigger, like, all these really,
He
really
was my
cool
favorite.
monster trucks, but I feel like I would go, like, that route, like, I would wanna buy if I could, I would wanna buy, like, a famous monster truck that's
Oh,
well known, like Bigfoot or Gravedigger. I
yeah.
think that would
And
be
just put some
so
shields on it.
awesome. But I would want you wanna I think I'd probably elevate my house too, though, right? Because again, we're thinking zombie apocalypse, like survival type shit, right?
Get a
So
moat.
I would elevate my house, I would make sure that I'd probably do a bomb shelter or something underneath there, just like doomsday prep and whatever. Cause
Mhm.
why? Because I watch horror movies and I know what could happen.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? Like, come on now. But
Like,
like you said, the whole investing thing, I would invest heavily into Scary Vibes. Me and Mr. Scary Vibes have so
Mhm.
many ideas on things that we would like to, we would love to bring things to life. Eventually, all of us love horror movies. We would love to make a horror movie one day.
Oh,
I would love to be able to draw up the next popular slasher. I want to come up with a popular, a character, something that's going to last for decades long after I'm gone. That would be so cool. But yeah, that's
So,
that's me.
okay, so Mandy wants a nice house, some huskies, a working car. Abraham wants an
Huskies,
elevated house with a bat cave, and
zombie proof.
okay,
but now I want to add that to mine too. I want, like, the secret passageways through the walls and stuff. I'm adding that to mine.
But
okay,
at this, you know
okay.
what?
So
My bad.
$100 million. Okay, it's a lot of money,
Yes,
but
sir.
that much money it comes with a
Oh,
price.
I'm
Okay,
going.
so the price tag for the $100 million is going to be a snail. Okay, for
Oh,
the
no.
rest of your the snail's going to hunt you for the rest of your life. Okay, and
What?
it only needs to make the smallest contact with you to kill you. Okay, but
Hmm.
this snail is immortal. He's indestructible, and he
Okay.
always knows where you are, and he'll
Wow.
always find you.
Okay.
Mhm.
Would you take the money? Would you take the money?
Oh,
Oh, it follows, huh?
You can never rest. He'll
Can
find
you
you.
put, like, a box on top of him?
No.
Oh,
He's
what?
indestructible. He's gonna
okay.
find a
He,
way out.
he's
What's funny is
indestructible.
I
That
used to
doesn't mean
collect
that he.
snails.
I'm saying
I
like
love
right,
snails. They love me.
right. So she's like, why would it want to kill me?
He
But
loves
like,
me. Like, I've always had snails. Water snails,
damn,
land
You know,
snails.
that's a good twist. That's a good twist because
Yeah,
my,
you can't
I don't
touch him.
know.
So I mean, he might love you, but you can't give him kisses or anything
but he won't
because
he won't, like, come at me. He won't wanna kill me because he's gonna be like, "Let me stop." But what if so we can take him over to China, put him can we pick him, like, in a bag or something, or no?
he'll always find you.
Okay, so I would have to go to the other side of the world
You would
every,
probably
like,
have
I
to
don't know,
just be on
couple
the
years
run. You would have to be on the run
consistent.
every day of your
But I have
life.
all this money, so I like
Yeah,
road trips. I could deck out, like, a van and do a whole thing. I'm okay with that.
So you guys are taking the money.
Yeah.
you know what? I don't know, man. I honestly, because
It's a
I'm
snail.
so the whole thing about like Murphy's Law, right? It's like
Uh,
the whole thing about like anything that can go wrong will
it
go
will.
wrong type thing, you know? So I feel like something would end up happening to where like I don't know, I'd see the snail and then I'd go to try to like run somewhere and like twist my
Fall.
ankle, like, like fall over. And then all of a sudden, I mean, they move like what? I don't know,
Hella
like
slow.
an inch every hour or something. I
Nah,
don't know how
nah,
fast.
some are faster than that. They're faster,
Oh,
some of them.
I used to have
well,
a
let's
box
hope it's
turtle.
not.
I thought turtles were slow. That turtle used to run.
No, turtles could be fast too.
Hell yeah,
Yeah.
man. See, such a misconception. But yeah, I don't
Oh.
know, man. It's just the idea of always how are you gonna enjoy your life if you're always looking over your
Looking.
shoulder type thing?
Yeah.
For the
Even if
snail.
it's a snail, dude, like that's always gonna be in the back of your head, and your head's gonna be on a swivel all the time. And like I said, I'm a man of I don't need a lot to be happy. You know what I'm saying? So honestly, if you just gave me like, I don't know, a cabin on a lake in the middle of nowhere, I'd be
We're
fine.
not compromising. We're not
You got
compromising.
100,000,000 or nothing.
Well, if I surround myself with water, well, if you surround yourself with water, how is the snail going to get there?
I
They
feel like
float
they could.
through.
Yeah, he'll
Yeah,
get you.
Oh yeah.
he'll
Then
get you.
again, I mean, he is immortal, so it's not like he's going to drown.
He ain't gonna drown. Just
Although maybe he gets eaten. Just because he's immortal doesn't mean that he can't get eaten by like fish or something. You
oh,
know,
he would get out of the fish, like, when it poops, he would just come out.
eventually, yeah, he would get out. but I just
And
feel
he'll
like
and then he'll find you, and then he'll find
those
you.
obstacles would probably be a lot better, right? Like, you can't make it easy for them.
You could
Like,
What if
just
what
you're
is
li
pull
it?
a Macaulay Culkin and just make traps.
what if you guys are,
Yeah.
like, in your 70s? What if you're in your 70s, you have your
Ready?
grandkids, grand dogs around, and then you just see that snail in the corner of your eye, and you're like you're like, "Bobby
Dude,
Joe, come help me.
not
Bobby
even
Joe."
at that point, I feel like I'd be like it'd be just so dramatic and just look and be like, "I knew this day would
Just
come."
yeah, just take me now.
I would have to say something crazy like, "You know what? We had a good run. It's about my time." It'd be
Just put
something
your
so
hand out.
dramatic. Right, exactly, just
Yep.
and then I'd be like, "Touch me,"
Okay,
and I'd be like, "Okay, do it." Like, "Alright."
I
okay,
feel like I can move around enough. I'll be alright.
so let's get back on topic. So last week, Mandy was on the episode, and
Yeah.
she dropped a little Easter egg.
Oh.
We were talking to Abraham. Abraham was talking about being empath, and she was like, "I'm a little empath too."
Mhm.
And it got me thinking of a part 2 to, Mandy being a guest on the show, and I wanna know more about that. I wanna know about both of you
Okay.
guys. I wanna know, what were some of those first experiences that you had that made you think that there could be something? Um,
Mhm.
yeah, so we'll start with Mandy. Ladies first again.
Yes.
Okay, so when I was very young, like, I mean, young, I don't even know, single digit young, I remember, I have a small family, like grandma, we had a aunt, uncle, and some cousins, and we would go out to eat and stuff. And, you get with your family, like, every week, every 2 weeks, I don't know, it's different for everybody, but, like, every week we would, like, get together, go out to eat. But at some point in my life, I think about maybe 8 years old, I was pretty young, 7 or 8, I remember, like, going out to eat with them one day and just having, like, at that time, I don't know what it is, but you would
Mhm.
think maybe comparing it to an anxiety or a panic attack or something, and I'm like, "What the hell?" We've always done this. This is something we do. This is my family. There's nobody new. There's nothing happening. Um, so that feeling has stuck with me for so many years and even into my early teens, like, I was getting forced, they're like, "Come on, you're gonna go out with us." Like, your parents make you do that, right? My mom's like, "Dude, come on, get your ass up. You're not staying here. You're, like, 9 years old," you know? So I would have to go, but I would always feel, like, really heavy once I got to this, like, specific restaurant because we had, like, a favorite small town restaurant, and I remember
Mhm.
feeling, like, really sick in there and being like, "I'm so uncomfortable in here, like, I wanna leave. Can we leave? Can we leave?" Like, that annoying ass kid. So that was, like, the start of it looking back now, and nothing ever happened in the moment because I'm so young, but then eventually when
Mhm.
I'm old enough to kinda stay home alone, 13, 14, my mom is like, "Whatever, dude, we're just gonna go because 'cause I'm being an asshole teenager," right? So that happened, years later, I'm looking back, I'm like, "I don't know, that was something more," but it was, like, just specific places. There was, like, a Walmart that made me really uncomfortable,
Mhm.
certain restaurants that made me uncomfortable, and then, like, growing up, I look back and I'm like, "Okay, there were certain people there were certain things you find out later that you're like, 'Oh, that place has actually been there for a really long time, and there was a robbery and somebody got shot,'" and I'm like, "Oh, I was probably feeling that shit that happened there," and I don't find out till many years later, and then in
Mhm.
high school, the same thing happened to me. Our high school had so much, like, bullshit. We had, like, bomb threats and, like, drug overdoses, like, my school was, like, kinda ghetto. I mean, it was
Whoa.
bad, my high school.
Uh-huh.
So, I would go to high school, and then ninth grade, I got, like, really sick after, like, I think I was in school for, like, a month maybe is my first in ninth grade was our first year at high school. So I remember being like, "Oh my god, I feel really bad," and I was in, like, my first block class, and I'm just, like, put my head down, and I'm asking the teacher, like, "Hey, I need to go to the nurse. I don't feel good," and I have my mom pick me up, and then at home, I'm just kinda like, "Okay, I feel safer. I feel better," and I kept trying to go back to school. Obviously, you have to. I
Mhm.
felt like shit. So eventually, I told my mom, like, "I don't feel good. I don't know what's going on." They're like, "I think you just have anxiety." They always thought I had anxiety even, as a youngster not going out to the restaurants and stuff. So I'm like, "Okay, that's probably it." So earlier you were mentioning something similar, like you're kind of unsure where it's coming from or what exactly is going on. So I think a misconception, some people might say, yeah, I've always had anxiety, but really they might be empathic. It's like similar when they used to say when people were possessed, they would be like, oh, they just have epilepsy. It's like a comparison of
Mhm.
like different mental illnesses with actual like spiritual things. So I feel like that's something that I've been dealing with my whole life, but now I'm 34 and I've kind of like adjusted. I've had plenty of years to like figure it out a little better. But as a teenager, that just like destroyed me. Like I ended up leaving high school and I did like online school to get my high school diploma and stuff like that. And it just like,
Mm,
I don't know. I could never really express what I was going through. And little did I know, like my mom had always been kind of like that with the vibes and the feelings, but we were the black sheep because all my family's like redneck, hunter, country people, and then we were like the weird little goth piercing. My mom and dad had tattoos. Like that was really weird back then, you know? So we were always in our own little realm and nobody really talked about it because it was like the first of a generation to feel that way, you know? So then as
mhm.
I got older, I learned this more about this stuff and I'm just like, so that's probably what's been happening with me. So that's like where I first started feeling it, just going out places and realizing like I don't want to be here anymore. That was the main
Okay.
awakening.
Yeah.
Hmm.
So
Um,
so like okay, so now that you've identified that you're empath, would you ever
Yeah.
want to learn like how to like use it or would you ever want to like grow it? Have you noticed it gotten weaker, stronger as you've gotten older?
Um, I think once I started noticing, like, my late teenage years, I went through, like, really hard times with, like, people in my family with drug addiction. My grandma was, like, the person that mainly raised me, and she got really sick, and she passed away right when I turned, like, 18. I
mhm.
was living with her, and then, like, during all those moments, just, like, so many feelings. I was very lonely because like I said, I left high school because I didn't wanna hang around anybody. Like, all my friends were not all of them, but a lot of them were just kinda like bad people. Everyone was doing drugs or, like, just assholes, like, I don't know, I didn't get along with many people. Um, so I think going through that time, right when I was 18, I ended up moving out here because I was like, "Something's gotta change. I don't know why I feel so bad," and I came out here. That was a whole other situation we'll talk about another day. That was a
Mm,
bad time. But I think once I got here, I actually have a son who's gonna be 15, and after I had him, I had a lot more time to kinda, like, find myself and, like, figure out, "Okay, what do I do? What's this feeling?" And, like, you're asking if I wanna grow it or whatnot. I don't know if, like, it's even a choice. You either kind of accept it or you hide it, and I'm not anybody that would ever wanna hide anything like that because I know
right.
the more you suppress things, the crazier you're gonna feel, and I've always felt bad. I always thought I had generalized anxiety and depression and all this stuff the doctors diagnosed me with, but I was like,
Mhm,
I'm not gonna be doped up on Xanax, like, let me figure out what's going on, you know? Once I accepted it, you say, do you choose to embrace it? I do. Like, I definitely just take it. I don't want to sit, and start studying books and like read about it. I'm more of a person that's like, I don't want to have an impression from someone else's kind of thing because I feel like it's very different for every single person. So I'm kind of just like spent the last 10 years, I guess, more, 15 years just letting it come to me, and I feel like I'm at a
mm,
really great point now where I know myself and I know my feelings, so when I feel like certain things about you were mentioning earlier when you saw that crazy ass dude on the bus, I've
mhm,
had so many similar experiences, and I don't know if being a woman might make me a little more paranoid when I'm, like, alone when there's, like, creepy ass man around. There's women too, but definitely
mhm,
felt it with a lot of men, like, more recently. I think that just knowing those feelings now, I understand exactly, like, yeah, that you could feel, like, something with children, and that's huge. I don't necessarily have, like, the visions like you do where you saw
mhm,
children and, like you said, you heard it, and I just
mhm,
have the feeling, like, the look in their eyes, I could see stuff there rather than, the bigger picture,
mm,
but I could definitely the feeling where I'm like, I feel whatever you made someone else feel. That's more like what I got going on. So I
mhm,
understand that feeling. So yeah, I choose to embrace what I feel, and I just like to learn on my own, and I feel like that's probably the best way to do it instead of reading books about it or anything because you
right.
might be trick your mind, you know? Your mind will play tricks on you, be like, "Oh, I'm supposed to feel it that way? I'm supposed to behave this way?" No, just kind of make yourself safe, feel it for
Mhm.
yourself, you know?
Yeah. So
Oh,
Abraham, I
Yes,
mean, do
sir.
you have like like how did you identify that you were empath? How did you like what were some of those first warning signs? And then how did you learn about it? And then is that something too that you've like, embraced and you kind of
Mhm.
want to learn more and open yourself up more?
Okay. Well, so, all right. You got to think about, like I said, I was born in the 80s, grew up in the 90s, right? Empath was not even a thing, right? I mean, we were literally decades away from that title even coming up. So I knew that when I was really young, one thing that I noticed was that a lot like Mandy, I would get sick a lot,
Mhm.
right? But of course, I never really attributed that to being around a specific person or being around, in a place that might have had really, really toxic energy, or like even being around, any bad spirits, things of that nature. I literally just thought that I was just prone to being sick, right? I would get sick a lot. I would get a lot of migraines, really, really bad migraines. Um, a lot of like sensory overload, I remember my mother, taking me to different places, different concerts and things like that. When I was like a little kid, I was at a festival and I just remember just feeling like I just covered my head and covered my ears and I just could not be around. Oh, it was just horrible. I felt like everything was just like falling on top of me. I had told the story because Jimmy had actually asked, like, what's the earliest memory, that I remember. I remember being a little kid, sleeping in my bed. I mean, and it's dark, but even though it's dark, you literally can still feel everything, right? And I remember, I told him that I used to see faces, I would see faces in the darkness, and these things would try to scare me in the darkness. As I got older, there was a lot of other just weird experiences that were coming around. Like one time in grammar school, I remember being in the library and now looking back, I think that something had attached to me because I was stuck, literally just stuck. I couldn't move. And I was just sitting there, and I could see everybody coming and speaking to me. My friends were like, "Hey, Abraham, are you okay? Are you okay?" But I couldn't move. I was literally just stuck in my body. And like teachers were coming and they were like, "Are you okay? Are you okay?" Like they were, I could hear them talking. We got to call his mom. Like, we don't know what happened. Did something happen to him? Like, no, he was just sitting here. And I'm hearing all this. I'm seeing all this, but it was like I was so far back in my own mind, like I could see things but from a
Mm.
distance. It was so weird. It was a very, very strange experience, and then out of nowhere I just kind of snapped out of it, you know. Um and as you get older, you find yourself in a position where I was just feeling things like but again, I was not associating these things with whatever was going on at the time. I thought I was dealing with anxiety, right? And then the whole thing, the term anxiety came up. So next thing you know, the doctors are prescribing me with, Wellbutrin and, all of these different, anti-anxiety, drugs and all this other stuff. I took it maybe a few times before I was like, I'm not taking this shit. It's making me a zombie. It literally all it was doing was making me tired to where I couldn't really
Yeah.
think about shit. It was just absolutely horrible. Um, not to say that, I didn't have a good childhood growing up. I had a lot of great experiences with friends and family and everything like that. But the experiences they kept amplifying as I got older, you know. Now I'm in my 40s, I'm 42 now, and I'm just barely scratching the surface. I'm still learning. I'm still learning about these things, but I think it was delayed because I spent so long trying to not to acknowledge that side of me. Like nobody of my whole friend group, people that I knew growing up, they knew that Abe lived in a haunted house and that he experienced different things, but they didn't know that I was empathic. They didn't know that I felt things. My f- Hell, man, there's still family members I think that don't even know that I'm empathic. You keep it under wraps because you don't want to be different, right? You don't want to be a freak. I feel like in this day and age, it's so easy for people to find something that they don't like about you that they can, use to ostracize and to demonize you and to talk all this crap about you. And so it's like I didn't want to like be that odd person out, you know. Um but over the years I was able to find ways to use it in a positive way. I worked in my adult life, working in the security field, doing bodyguard jobs, reading people's vibes came in really handy, working in nightclubs and concert halls, doing those kinds of things, being able to assess in the moment whenever there was somebody who walked by, I'm like, okay, I got to keep an eye on this person because this is not feeling right, It's like these red flags that go up in your head that you sense, right? And I had mentioned, on the Horror 365 podcast, we all have that like that sixth sense, right? That warning that like, okay, something doesn't feel right, you know. This person, I don't know, there's something about this person. It just mm, you know, they could be talking and they might not even say anything bad, right? They might not say anything offensive. And hell, there's been experiences that I've had where the popular guy or girl who everybody loves and can do no wrong. I'm sitting here like, man, this fake ass motherfucker, like this fake person, like, like and they feel gross. And then
Yeah.
being around these people like makes you sick and whatever. But um, getting back to it professionally, yeah, I worked as an investigator for 5 years for Chicago Public Schools. I was an investigative analyst, right? Threat assessment. I did all that kind of stuff for 5 years. And that actually helped me a lot in being able to find missing people and to do threat assessment. I could gauge whether or not a kid was at risk. I could gauge I had seen so many crazy things doing that job, man. Um, there were a few times where I actually got scared. Like there was one time where they had asked me to locate an employee because she went missing, right? And so they were like, "Can you please find this lady? Like, do what you do, get on social media." And so that's what I did. I started like getting on social media, pulling up, I was like, okay, what's her name? Whatever, whatever. And I started, doing my investigative process. I pulled up like all the socials and everything like that. And I was able to determine that she was holed up in like a hotel with her husband somewhere. But like what the things that I was seeing on her page that she was displaying was like, I was like, yo, this something's going on with this lady, man. Like I'm getting these, like I was feeling like, oh, just creeped out when I was like reading all of her things. Um, she was posting a lot about like Judgment Day, the end of the world. And which is not, I mean, there's people that talk about there's a lot of religious people out there. It's not unheard of for people to post about those things or talk about those things. But it was something that I was feeling in those posts that I was like, yo, she's not well, man. Like obviously I can't diagnose her, right? I can't evaluate her. I'm not in a position for that. But I was telling my boss, like, hey, like, yeah, she's at the Drake Hotel. I told him the location and everything, and I was like, she needs to be evaluated. Like it was just, ugh, plain to see when other people couldn't see it. And it was useful. It was a useful thing. And so to answer your question, I would definitely like to be able to understand it better if I was able to hone it in different ways, right? Like who wouldn't want to be able to, okay, I got a really bad feeling, right? I remember how sick I got right before the Orlando nightclub shooting. I remember feeling horrible. I remember feeling intense fear to the point to where I just wanted to like curl up in fetal position and not go anywhere. and it's like, again, you don't know where it's coming from, you don't know what your range is. I would love to be able to determine, okay, to be like, okay, I'm feeling this, where is it? Oh, it's in Florida, or it's in a different part of the world. I can't think of anybody who would not want to be able to use it in order to help save people's lives, right? To be able to call somebody up and say, hey, like, something really bad's about to happen in this place at this time. Obviously, there's going to be people that are going to be like, you're nuts. You know what I'm saying? But just to be able to say, hey, man, like, I tried, like, I really want to help people. And, that was what I was trying to do. I worked in public safety for a long time. And, but eventually the emotional, like, the being an empath and absorbing all that negativity because I was around it all the time, it really made me sick. It really made I ended Mr. Scary Vibes can tell you, I ended up in the hospital several times because I thought I was having a heart attack or I thought that there was something going on physically. And I would always go and I would stay in the hospital for a week at a time and they would run all the tests and they would do everything and be like, no, you're completely fine. And it's the most frustrating thing, you know? So to be able to, you know, discern this from that, and be able to figure out like, hey, okay, this is what I'm feeling. This is who it's specifically coming from, right? Over the years, you're kind of able to be like, hey, yeah, I've learned things along the way. You know what I'm saying? And now I know like, okay, when a person walks in the room and you start to feel different, 9 times out of 10, you're like, yeah, it's got to be that person, you know. But you're still kind of left questioning it, right? Like you're guessing, but based on your experience, you start making educated guesses. You know what I'm saying? But yeah,
Yeah.
that's my answer. Sorry to babble and, carry on and stuff
No,
like that.
no. I appreciate both you guys sharing your experiences and your story. And
Mhm.
I'm just a normie and I'm just curious, which this would be a
You
good time to.
you are not normal. You are not normal, dude.
I am
Sorry to
very
tell you,
normal.
but we love you.
I mean, I'm
But we
sure
love you
everybody
because of
has
it.
it a little bit. You see somebody, like, you meet someone, do you ever get a weird vibe, like, off anybody?
I mean, yeah,
Especially being a father.
I think I had
That's a big
spoken.
one.
Yeah, no, there's times I do get like weird vibes about things, stereotype people. I mean, I think I had told Abraham before. I feel like I'm empathic when it comes to people I care about. Like
Mhm.
if
Yeah.
you're my family or your friend, I
Oh, yeah.
like I could feel like sometimes like if Abraham's like feeling sad or this that like I'll feel sad too when he's like talking to me and I'll be like, man, I feel really bad and sad and
Mhm.
empathetic, I guess.
Yeah.
But
Mhm.
then, like sometimes people that I don't know or care about, I don't really get those types of vibes,
Yeah.
Mhm.
You're
So
entangled with them, so you would feel it stronger.
Right.
yeah.
That's
But
You're close to you're
Abraham
close to
had
their energy, you know?
yeah.
like Abraham had said, just as being humans, I think all of us have like a sixth sense. It's just some people are more
Sensitive.
acceptable than yeah,
Yeah.
more sensitive than others, and
Mhm.
Yeah.
so never
Yeah,
know.
I
But I
mean, at the
appreciate you guys
same
both.
time,
Go ahead.
I apologize. But like, piggybacking off of what Mandy said, like the people that you care about, you're closest to, right? So you're attuned to their energy. You know how it feels. So when something is off, your body is telling you like, okay, the energy that I'm getting from this person it's not the same. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
like I
Still
did say
empathic. Yeah.
everybody has it, right? Like everybody has it. There is a difference in like how people are. I mean, there's a lot of things that kind of mess it up because society is, they tell people that these things are not real and you're not supposed to feel the things that
Yeah.
you feel, and they try to explain it away. Hence the whole anxiety thing. Let's medicate it,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And the
Let's
medication
sedate you.
works, right? The medication works to a degree, but what it does is it dulls your senses. It doesn't completely
Mhm.
take them away, and
Yeah.
that's why they keep people on. And man, I'm probably putting myself at risk talking about this stuff, but like there have been times where I've been driving to work and I see like a van and I'm like, yo, this van's following me. Like it feels super weird. Like I have no doubt that the government is like watching people that are spiritual. I think that they like have probably devices that can pick up on energy signatures, and they can like determine whether or not a person can do certain
Oh,
things.
I agree.
You know what I'm
Yes.
saying? Like I remember one time
They used to
it
pick
was really early.
psychics, right? Sorry.
Yeah. Oh, hell yeah. Hell yeah,
Yeah, they used to run
absolutely.
tests with
Eh,
them, so
yeah, yeah, back in the day, what was it? They made a movie about it, The Men Who Stare
60s
at
even.
Ghosts.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
the one too,
The
huh? There's like a few, yeah, different
Mhm.
variations of that. Yeah. Mhm.
Yeah. So, like, I remember one time I was getting ready to I was driving my mother to work. This was some years ago, but I got in my truck and I remember it was early. It was like 5:30 in the morning. And I looked across the street and I saw a plumbing van. And I was like, huh, there's something not right with this van. It's 5:30 in the morning. It's still dark out. The sun's just coming up, you know? And so, like, as soon as my mom got in the car, because I was going to drop her off at the train before I headed to work. And she was like, "Hey, what's going on?" 'Cause she saw me staring at this van. And I told her, I said, it's very odd that this van is parked across the street because look at what time it is. I don't care how early you want to get to a job site. Like, that's just weird to me that a plumbing van would be right there. Dude, right then, the van turned on and just drove away.
Shit, they were
And I was like,
listening.
"What the hell? Like, are these people listening? Like, can they hear what the hell we're talking about?" Bro, I mean, I don't know if that is what it actually was, but yeah, I don't know. It's just weird. It was just a really weird experience.
Coincidence.
Mhm. Yeah, it was
Very
great.
suspicious.
Yeah.
Okay. So this episode had the two topic situation. The other
Mhm,
one, it came from inspiration this last weekend. I'm out with my daughter. We take a walk to the library and then we go to our downtown area. I turn the corner and I'm like, what the hell am I looking at? And I see in front of a bike store, there's a redheaded lady in a green dress. And my daughter's
mhm,
like, that's Ariel. And I'm like, why is Ariel standing in front of a bike spot? So then as we continue to walk down this strip, okay, now I see Cinderella and I see Moana. And basically my town organized a Disney princess pop up where all down the block there's just a bunch of different Disney princesses.
mhm,
And being Mr. Scary Vibes, I'm always thinking of like horror stuff or how I could twist my real life experiences into a fun podcast for everybody. So I'm like, okay, this next episode, we should talk. I'm going to find an evil princess to talk about. With all the history in the world, you would think that there's a few out there. So I assigned all of us to kind of like go down that route. So I know some of us, found some Disney princesses that are reimagined, and I
mhm,
found one. She's not a princess, but I'm gonna share with you guys, and then I'll let you guys tell me about what you guys kind of found on the topic before we wrap this up tonight.
mhm.
So one, I didn't even know Madagascar had royalty. I didn't know they had royalty, but they do. They have kings and queens, and there was this lady, Ravana Lona, and she was just a commoner. And her dad ended up saving the king at the time.
Uh-huh.
And when this happened, the king hooked his daughter up with his son and she got into the family. So when she got into the family, the husband ended up dying. And when he passed away, she took this as an opportunity. Okay. And she ended up calling her people and she ended up convincing the army to overtake the Madagascar. So they
Uh-huh.
end up murdering the whole entire royal family. The whole royal family is murdered, okay?
Whoa.
And this this lady that now she's the queen. She took over the throne for 33 years. She ends up uh, banning Christianity. She ends up kicking out all the foreigners. The population went from 5 million people to 2.5 million people.
Whoa.
And her way of killing them is she would make them swallow a poisonous nut.
Mhm.
And
Oh.
if you lived, then you were innocent. If you died, then you weren't innocent and you're supposed to die. So that's how she did it.
Oh, it's
Wait,
like
so it
Thanos.
was kinda
Yeah.
like the whole, like, Salem witch trial type thing? Like,
Oh.
okay, we're gonna throw you in water with, like,
Oh,
your
yeah.
feet weighted and everything, so if you drown, you're not a witch. Like, bro, what? What kind of
But you're
I don't know.
it's a little backwards.
Like,
That's
what?
crazy though. What was it, like, the almond nuts or something? They're like the cherry almond or something? Aren't they like, what is that? Poison?
They,
That's
they were they called it the Tangina ordeal, forcing people to swallow poison from a nut.
Oh,
Mm,
They don't specify which kind of nut, but bro, Madagascar? I thought Madagascar was chill.
just
right?
talking animals. Very nice.
Exactly. Like, bro,
Huh.
King Julian was
Yes.
over there from Madagascar, bro. Like, bring me my
Man.
nuts on a silver platter. Like, bro, I
That's
don't know.
crazy, huh?
That is a
Brutal.
twisted story, man. The fact that you had this girl, I mean, essentially she was a princess, right? Like she married into this royal family
Yeah.
and she thought, maybe genocide? I don't know.
Yeah. What a brat.
It's I'm a little
Maybe.
bored. Like I'm a little bored. Let
Jesus.
me just wipe out this entire population. Let me become a dictator overnight. That's like it just makes you wonder, dude, like nature versus nurture, like how did this happen?
Mhm.
How did these people become like evil? They just wake up one
Yeah.
day and they're like, they just chose violence?
Let's fuck shit up today.
Exactly. Like, yo, maybe if they had a cup of coffee or something, like, I mean, what was it?
Some
What was
maybe
it that the Joker said? All it takes is one bad day,
one
you
bad
know?
day. Yeah.
All it takes is one bad day, man, to make somebody
Dude,
just go nuts.
I've had so many bad days. It's kind of crazy.
Don't do
But
that. Don't give your
but I'm
poisonous
curious,
nuts.
were you guys able to find any princesses out there that
Um, well, mine kinda goes with yours a little bit because I was kind of thinking of Countess Bat I think it's pronounced Battery, but Countess Bathory, some people say.
Mhm,
If you're familiar with her, she was the one that apparently or allegedly had killed a bunch of virgins to bathe in their blood to live forever young. But I did a
mhm,
little more research to refresh. So she was a countess, but her uncle was apparently like the king of Poland. Her family was all kinds of, hierarchies and kings and queens and whatnot. But I did read that I think she was diagnosed with like a form of epilepsy when she was really little. And what they
mm,
did back in the day, what 1400s or something, they would the treatment for that was to drink or to wipe a blood around your face of somebody that doesn't have epilepsy. So I
mhm,
was reading about that and I'm like, well, that would kind of I could see how that could get translated. Some people say, oh, they just didn't like her family because they were royal, so people just made these stories about her drinking blood. I could see if
mhm,
that's true, how that could get translated into that. But then again, if you keep reading about her, there's, like, horror stories when she's older where she would take, a lot of, sewing needles and, like, shove them in people's fingers and then rip down their whole arm. She did a lot of stuff like that where it said, like, 300 people, and they had hundreds of witnesses and testimonies.
mm,
So, like, if they hated her maybe politically, I get it, yeah, whatever, but it seems like so many people were like, "Yeah, let's fuck this up." I don't know. Maybe it's made up, but, I mean, there's a lot of stories about her, you guys know. So
yeah,
she's an evil princess, I suppose, if that's true.
right, who eventually graduated to becoming, like, a evil queen type thing,
Yeah,
man.
yeah.
Oh, man, so, I don't know, like, it was difficult, right, to try to find, things about, evil princesses, but when you think about it, didn't, like, Cinderella the true story, like, about the original story about Cinderella was actually a lot
Mhm.
darker? I believe, like, she ended up killing her stepsisters and her stepmother. in
Didn't she
the
sleep
like
with all the
ri
dwarfs?
I'm sorry?
Didn't she, like, bang all the dwarfs? Like, all like, Dopey and all that shit?
Dude, we're talking about
Bingo. Don't
Cinderella, bro.
that's Snow White.
You're
Oh.
Does that make her
we're
evil? Does that make
we're
her
gonna need
evil,
you
though?
to
Just
we're gonna need you to brush up, dude. We're gonna need you to brush up on all these old stories.
No, but
Mike's over
Cinderella
here
does
like,
have a
"Yo,
dark
didn't Cinderella have a
But
gangbang with,
didn't
like, a
but
bunch of
Snow
the"
White sorry, we had to cut that.
Damn. But I
I
think she
love it.
did, actually.
But, like, yeah, so it was yeah, so Cinderella, she ended up, like, killing her stepsisters and, the wicked stepsisters and wicked stepmother. But then, like, I believe that when it came down to, like, the actual glass slipper portion, she knew that, like, her foot wasn't gonna fit in this glass slipper, so she cut off the back of her
Yes.
foot in
I
order
remember that,
to
I'm reading that.
make it fit. Like,
Yeah.
it's super you gotta think, who is it that's writing these stories? I mean, who was that? Was that Hans Zimmer, I think, that did that one?
Anderson, I
Or
think Christian Andersen, not
I'm
Hans
not
Zimmer.
sure. We're definitely listen, we're gonna have to work the Google machine on that one. But, like, the fact that, like, when you look back at these old school stories, right? Like, they have some pretty dark like
Oh,
they
yeah.
obviously
Like
Disney was like, yeah, we can't market this, so
yeah.
we're gonna have to G this up. We're gonna have
Yes.
to G this up real quick and make it, so
Yeah.
that it's suitable for children. But yeah, they've
Yeah.
got some pretty dark
I
subject
think
matter in a lot of
The
these
Little
stories.
Mermaid, that one also, I think something with her, like, her legs getting cut off or something, or she would cut off her tail so she could be with the
Mhm.
man, or it was something also, that one.
I believe that I think with that one, it was like she became a human, but she was still under the sea, so she
Oh,
kinda
it was so
like
weird.
so she,
Okay.
like, drowned,
Oh,
because
was
she
that what it
became
was? It was, yeah, something dark. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
yeah,
All the
there's just,
Disney
like,
ones are
really
twisted.
I mean, there's just so much subject matter out there right now, and who knows, like, with the Pooniverse and everything, right? Like, eventually, somebody needs to make, like, you know, an evil
Mm.
movie or dark horror movie about one of these
Uh-huh.
Disney princesses. Who do you guys think? Who would be your pick? Your top pick that if you could take a Disney princess and turn them
Okay.
into,
Mhm.
like, a slasher or horror icon, who would you
Okay.
pick?
Well, they already did Steamboat Willie,
Right. But I'm talking like
so something like that.
Disney
You want
princess.
princess,
Right,
only
So, I
princess.
Disney
mean I'm a big fan of Beauty and the Beast, so I would have to choose Belle, and
mhm.
Okay.
I mean, Gaston, he was such a I hated that dude.
Yeah.
So, I would like to see her kinda snap at that kinda moment and maybe slice and dice up Gaston, like, that's her
Yeah.
origin, but Belle would be my choice.
Okay.
So, like, a cool
Um,
twist on that would probably be, like, what if Belle was the Beast?
ooh,
You know what I'm saying?
like a lesbian or what?
No,
Oh.
like, Belle was the Beast. Like, you could make it to
Okay.
where she was actually cursed, and she, like
Oh,
maybe she's a
yeah.
werewolf. Maybe she ends up turning into a
Ooh,
monster, during the full moon or whatever. That could be, like, a cool
you're a
twist.
woman.
Like, you know
Okay.
what I'm saying? Like, that would be cool, like, she is Beauty and the Beast at the same time,
Oh, yeah, that makes
right? Like,
sense too. Same
that would be
name.
pretty dope.
Mhm.
Yep, so, Mandy, what do
Okay.
you think? Who would be
Um,
your princess of choice?
okay. It's funny because, like, I think previous episode I told you guys I grew up super tomboy, so I'm more of a Toy Story, Lion King kinda girl,
Mm,
but I also love Alice in Wonderland. So I'm thinking of Alice. They do have a video game. I haven't played it, but you guys
I
are
played it.
familiar?
I played it like 10
Okay.
times.
So I don't know about it. I'm not copying, I don't know, but I'm thinking just Alice and her blonde and blue, just
mhm.
make her go crazy on that queen because that queen's a bitch. I hated her.
The Queen of Hearts?
Yeah, just chop her up or something. I don't know. I hate her.
That's pretty
Yeah,
cool.
she was a B word.
Yes.
Mm,
That's my
I
pick.
feel like
Y
let's see, who would I pick? Dude, there's so many of them because you could go with so many like, my imagination just goes in, 1,000 different
like
places, but
yeah.
I feel like the easiest one would probably be Cinderella, right? Mainly just
Okay.
because in the Disney movies, she could speak to the rats and she could speak to the birds,
Oh,
right?
it's
So
true.
automatically it kind of has like a Willard, like kind of
Oh,
a
Willard.
Willard, feel to it, right? Where she could like talk to the
Love
rats
it.
and make them attack her enemies and stuff. Like I think that would be pretty dope.
A good
Yeah.
honorable mention would be Pocahontas.
The colonizers, like, yeah, man, like, hey,
Yes,
she was
that's a
justified.
good
All
true.
right. She
Yeah,
was justified.
yeah,
Mandy says that she was justified. Don't say that because I feel like there's like a subgroup that would like where we'll get so much hate mail and death
maybe. But
threats.
she's based on a true story,
Oh, it's
so I know people hate that movie, so
do they?
yeah, people like, as we've gotten older, and more politically correct, a
Mm,
lot of people look up her story and see that she was, like, forced to marry the dude and go over there, and then she died pretty young. It was, like, it's pretty tragic, so
it was pretty
yeah,
yeah, if you
yeah,
actually look up the true story and plus
yeah,
she was like
she
14
was
years old.
young. Yeah,
Yeah, she was
it's not
really
like
young.
the movie at all.
And then
Yeah,
she
so
died of smallpox in
was that yes.
yeah,
She
she died of
wasn't
smallpox
used to
in
that.
London.
Yeah,
So it's just,
yep,
bro, all this shit is so dark when you think about it.
yeah,
But I mean,
yes,
yeah, it'd be pretty cool, man, to think
yeah.
about. Like
Have you
even
guys
stuff.
seen 13 Ghosts? Just thinking about angry princesses, one of the 13 ghosts is an angry princess. That's what they call
Oh,
Oh
her,
yeah,
so
I'm in
just
love
throwing
with
yeah.
that
her.
out
We
there.
yeah we love that. We actually
Love
did an
that.
episode. We actually did an episode and we talked about it, and I didn't know this. That's the only reason I'm bringing it up because Abraham's the one who shared it with me. It's actually a remake. There's like a TV show from like the 50s, a black and white.
Yes. I've
We
never
You've
watched
seen
watched
it,
it,
it.
but I
okay?
do
Yeah,
know about it. I've seen clips. Yes.
I liked it.
yeah,
I liked it.
watched
It's
it.
good.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to
Pretty.
watch it.
It was pretty cutting edge for that time. We'll just say that it was
Mhm.
pretty
Oh,
cutting
yeah.
edge. Um,
Yeah.
but yeah, the angry princess, man, that's the type of toxic shit I like. I like
Oh,
toxic
yeah,
stuff.
same.
I'm a Hispanic. I'm a Hispanic male, man. I love my fiery Latino. So like, if a chick tries to stab me, I'm like, oh,
Oh,
I love you.
take notes, ladies.
Excuse me. Oh man, that's too funny,
But
bro.
this was a fun episode. I appreciate, Mandy, you coming on last minute.
Of
Hmm.
I know
course.
I have like something going on with my daughter this week, so I'm gonna be like out of town. It's gonna be hard to do an episode, but you came in
Uh-huh.
clutch. You are the shiznit. This was a very fun episode. I
Of
appreciate you coming on.
course, thank
Yeah.
you. Thank you for having
Awesome.
me. Always fun.
But I think that's gonna be an episode. My name is Michael, aka Mr. Scary Vibes.
And my name is Abe, aka Big Paranormal. Mandy, thank you so much again for joining us. Hopefully you can come back again really, really soon, you know?
Of
But
course.
that's gonna be it for us, guys. Take care. We'll see you next time.